Innovation is at the heart of every successful business. When we started Alibaba, the world was changing fast, and I knew that if we didn't innovate, we wouldn't survive. You can't just wait for opportunities to come to you. You have to create them. The truth is, success doesn't come from following the crowd. It comes from being the first to do something different. Be the first to change. Be the first to challenge. Be the first one to overcome the difficulties. I remember when we first launched Alibaba, many people thought we were crazy. They said we couldn't succeed because e-commerce was too new in China. But I believed that those difficulties were our greatest advantage. While others saw problems, I saw opportunities. Innovation isn't just about new technology. It's about having the mindset to think differently and solve problems in new ways. Leadership is about staying ahead of the curve. If you're always waiting for the perfect moment, you'll miss the opportunities that are right in front of you. The key is to keep moving forward, even when the path isn't clear. Many people quit when things get hard, but those who keep pushing, who keep adapting and innovating, are the ones who rise to the top. It's not enough to be reactive. You have to be proactive in shaping your future. Think about it this way. When others are stuck in the present, innovation allows you to step into the future. That's why I always focused on finding solutions that no one else was thinking about. The success of Alibaba wasn't built on what already existed, but on what we created. Being unique, thinking outside the box, and refusing to give up were the keys to our growth. So the question is, how will you innovate? Will you wait for the right moment, or will you create the moment yourself? Remember, success doesn't come to those who follow. It comes to those who lead with new ideas. Failure has been a constant companion on my journey. I applied for 30 different jobs after graduating from college, and I was rejected by all of them. One of the most memorable rejections was from KFC. Out of 24 applicants, 23 were hired. I was the only one who was turned down. I could have given up right then, but I asked myself, if not now, when? If not me, who? That question has driven me forward ever since. The truth is, failure shaped who I am. Every rejection, every no, was a lesson in resilience. While most people see failure as the end, I see it as the beginning of something new. What matters most isn't how many times you fail, but how many times you get back up and keep going. Persistence is the real secret to success. Each obstacle prepares you for the next step, and each failure teaches you something that brings you closer to your goal. People often ask me how I handle failure. My answer is simple. I don't see failure as a setback. I see it as a stepping stone. Every time I was rejected, I learned something new, something that helped me improve. When you're poor, if you have a dream, you never feel poor. That idea gave me the strength to keep moving forward, even when I didn't have much else. Dreams and ambition are more powerful than failure, and they're what keep us going when times are tough. Had I let failure stop me, there would be no Alibaba. We faced countless challenges along the way, but each failure made us stronger. Instead of quitting, we learned from our mistakes and adapted. This is how you prepare for success, by embracing failure as part of the journey, not the end of it. Success and failure are two sides of the same coin. You can't have one without the other. What matters is how you handle it. If you can push through failure, you'll find that the lessons you've learned along the way are what lead you to success. No, opportunities always lie in the middle of difficulties. I've always believed that when we face challenges, that's when the greatest ideas are born. When I started Alibaba, the world of e-commerce in China was still new, and many thought it was impossible to build a successful business. But I saw those difficulties as an opportunity. I always tell people, when others see problems, you should see possibilities. The bigger the challenge, the bigger the opportunity to create something meaningful. You see, many people complain about their circumstances, but complaints won't change anything unless you take action. I realized early on that every complaint was an opportunity in disguise. When people said something couldn't be done, I knew that was where the real potential lay. Opportunity always lies in the challenges, always lies in the complaints. When I heard people saying, "This will never work," I thought, that's exactly why it will. In difficult times, most people tend to give up. But I encourage you to do the opposite. Embrace those challenges, because they are your chance to stand out. When Alibaba faced tough situations, like the dot-com bubble bursting, we didn't retreat. Instead, we doubled down on our efforts. Challenges don't break you. They make you stronger if you're willing to persevere. Let me share something interesting. Many of the innovations that transformed Alibaba were born out of hard times. When faced with difficulties, our team didn't just sit and wait. We brainstormed, tested new ideas, and used our creativity to turn problems into possibilities. That's how we introduced Alipay, which at the time was a solution nobody believed in, but it solved a major problem in online transactions in China. So remember, when things seem hard, that's when you need to stay focused. Don't run away from difficulties, run toward them. The greatest entrepreneurs in the world didn't succeed because they had it easy. They succeeded because they found opportunities where others only saw obstacles. Are you ready to see the opportunities hidden in your own challenges? Everyone is unique, and that's what makes each of us valuable. In a world filled with millions of people, the easiest trap to fall into is trying to copy others. But here's the thing. If you follow in someone else's footsteps, you'll always be a step behind. Early on, I realized that being different wasn't a weakness. It was my greatest strength. Everybody's unique. Be yourself is always the key. This simple truth has guided my journey. When I started Alibaba, many advised me to follow Western business models or replicate what others were doing in China. But I knew that wouldn't lead to success. What worked for someone else wouldn't necessarily work for us. So we embraced our uniqueness and built something that reflected who we were, not who others expected us to be. This made all the difference. Uniqueness isn't just about being different for the sake of it. It's about embracing who you are and what you bring to the table. Each one of you has something special inside, something no one else can offer. That's your superpower. Don't try to change to fit into someone else's mold. The world doesn't need another version of someone else. It needs you, with all your originality and creativity. I often remind young entrepreneurs, your uniqueness is what will set you apart in a crowded marketplace. People don't remember those who imitate others. They remember the ones who dared to stand out, the ones who used their differences to their advantage. So, if you want to succeed, don't try to be the best copy. Aim to be the best version of yourself. Ask yourself, what makes you different? What's that one thing you do better than anyone else? Focus on that, and you'll find that success will come. Not because you're following the crowd, but because you dared to lead with your uniqueness. Thus, what's the point of success if you don't have your health? I often remind people, if you're not healthy, you will not be happy. Too many people think that success is about working endlessly, chasing after money and achievements. But what happens if you burn yourself out along the way? Success is meaningless if you can't enjoy it. Health is your greatest wealth. When I was building Alibaba, I worked hard, sometimes too hard. There were moments when the stress was overwhelming. But I learned a critical lesson. No matter how ambitious you are, if you neglect your health, you'll lose everything. That's why I always make time for exercise, mindfulness, and finding balance in life. It's not just about how much you work, it's about how well you live. Happiness goes hand in hand with health. If you're constantly chasing after goals but not taking care of yourself, you'll never be truly happy. Success should enhance your life, not consume it. I believe that a balanced life is the key to long-term success. A healthy mind and body are essential if you want to keep pushing forward and achieve your dreams. Take a moment and think about your own life. Are you taking care of yourself? Are you giving yourself the time to rest, to recharge? True success is measured not by how much you accomplish, but by how much you can enjoy what you've built. Remember, health and happiness are not luxuries, they're necessities. In the end, the happiest people aren't the ones with the most money or achievements. They're the ones who found balance. They work hard, but they also take time to take care of themselves and their loved ones. That's the real secret to success. Living well, being healthy, and finding joy in the journey. If there's one thing that will determine our future, it's education. I'm not just talking about schools or universities. I'm talking about lifelong learning, about continuously evolving and adapting to the world around us. When I think about the future, I'm convinced that education will play the most crucial role in shaping it. We live in a time where knowledge is more accessible than ever before. But many people stop learning after they leave school. That's a mistake. The world is changing so fast, and if we don't keep learning, we'll be left behind. If you want to catch the rabbit, don't change the rabbit, change yourself. This applies to education too. You must constantly improve yourself to stay relevant. But education isn't just about acquiring technical skills. Emotional intelligence, creativity, and adaptability are equally important. When I look at the future of work, I see that machines will handle many tasks. What will set humans apart are these softer skills, our ability to innovate, empathize, and solve complex problems. That's why education must evolve to focus on both the head and the heart. At Alibaba, we invest heavily in learning and development because we know that the future belongs to those who are prepared. It's not just about knowing more. It's about being able to do more. Every entrepreneur, every professional should make learning a daily habit. If you stop learning, you stop growing. So what are you doing to educate yourself? Are you reading, taking courses, improving your skills? The future belongs to those who invest in their own growth. Education isn't just the foundation of success. It's the fuel that keeps it going. The world is changing faster than ever, and at the heart of this change is technology. In the next 30 years, technology will revolutionize every aspect of our lives. From artificial intelligence to biotechnology, the innovations we see today are just the beginning of something much bigger. Those who understand and embrace these changes will lead the future. When I started Alibaba, we had a vision that the internet would change the way people do business. Today, that vision has come true, but the revolution isn't over. AI, big data, and automation are transforming industries at an unprecedented pace. If you're not paying attention to these shifts, you're already falling behind. But it's not just about knowing the latest technology. It's about understanding how to use it to solve problems and improve lives. The companies that will thrive are those that leverage technology to create real value. That's what we did with Alibaba. And that's what every entrepreneur should focus on today. One of the biggest challenges is that many people fear technology. They think AI will take away jobs, that automation will make people obsolete. But I see it differently. Technology doesn't take away jobs, it changes them. It creates new opportunities, new industries, and new ways to solve problems. The key is to adapt and learn how to work with these new tools. So, ask yourself, how are you preparing for the next revolution? Are you learning about AI, about how technology can enhance your business? Those who embrace these changes will lead the next generation of innovators. Success doesn't come easy. In fact, the road to success is often filled with setbacks, failures, and moments where everything seems impossible. But here's the thing. Those who succeed aren't necessarily the smartest or the luckiest. They are the ones who refuse to give up. If not now, when? If not me, who? This question has always pushed me to keep going, no matter how hard things got. When I faced rejection after rejection, whether it was from jobs, investors, or potential partners, I didn't stop. I knew that the only way to truly fail was to give up. Persistence is what separates the dreamers from the achievers. Every successful entrepreneur I know has faced challenges, but they kept going when others gave up. Resilience is the key to weathering the storms. It's not about avoiding failure. It's about learning from it. Every failure brings with it a lesson that will make you stronger, smarter, and more prepared for the next challenge. At Alibaba, we faced countless obstacles. From funding issues to technical challenges, there were many times when it seemed easier to quit, but quitting was never an option. I've always believed that the most successful people are not those who never fail, but those who are never afraid to fail. They take risks, they make mistakes, but they always get back up. That's the essence of entrepreneurship. It's a marathon, not a sprint. It's about staying in the game, no matter how tough it gets. If you're facing challenges right now, remember, persistence is your greatest weapon. Keep pushing, keep learning, and never stop believing in yourself. The road to success is long, but the rewards are worth it. If you want to build a successful business, focus on solving real problems. The biggest companies in the world didn't succeed by creating something nobody needed. They succeeded by solving the pain points of millions of people. At Alibaba, that was always our mission. We wanted to make it easier for small businesses to sell online, and we built our entire platform around that. Real value comes from solving real issues. I always tell entrepreneurs, don't just create a product for the sake of it. Ask yourself, what problem are you solving? The bigger the problem, the greater the opportunity. And remember, the best ideas often come from the most unexpected places. Opportunity always lies in the challenges, always lies in the complaints. When you focus on solving problems, you create something that people truly need. That's the key to long-term success. Look at companies like Uber or Airbnb. They didn't invent new technology, they solved existing problems in a new way. That's what made them successful. It's not about being the most innovative, it's about being the most useful. At the core of entrepreneurship is the desire to make a difference. If you can solve a real problem, you'll always find a market. And the bigger the problem, the more valuable your solution will be. This is what makes a business not only successful, but sustainable in the long run. So, what problem are you solving? Are you addressing a real need? Focus on that, and success will follow. No one succeeds alone. One of the most important lessons I've learned is that a great team is essential to achieving great things. When I started Alibaba, we were a small team with big dreams. But it was the strength of that team, our shared vision, and our willingness to work together that made all the difference. As a leader, your role is not just to lead, but to inspire your team. The best leaders are those who bring out the best in others. They empower their people, give them the tools they need to succeed, and create an environment where everyone can thrive. A great team isn't just a group of talented individuals. It's a group of people working toward the same goal, supporting each other every step of the way. Teamwork isn't about avoiding conflict. It's about working through it together. At Alibaba, we faced many challenges, but we faced them as a team. We debated, we disagreed, but in the end, we always came together to find the best solution. That's the power of teamwork. When everyone is aligned, even the biggest challenges become manageable. So, if you want to succeed, don't try to do it all on your own. Surround yourself with people who share your vision, who complement your strengths, and who are as committed to the goal as you are. Together, you can achieve far more than you ever could alone. Remember, a strong team is not just a support system, it's the foundation of your success. What kind of legacy do you want to leave behind? For me, success isn't measured by how much money you make or how big your company becomes. It's measured by the impact you have on the lives of others. At the end of the day, the greatest achievement isn't building a company, it's building a better world. I often think about the future, about the world we're creating for the next generation. What will they say about us? Will they remember us for the companies we built or for the lives we touched? That's why it's so important to focus on leaving a positive legacy. It's not enough to succeed, you have to help others succeed too. A true legacy is about making a difference. It's about using your success to create opportunities for others, to give back to your community, and to make the world a better place. At Alibaba, that's always been our mission. We don't just want to be a successful company. We want to be a company that makes a difference. So think about the legacy you want to leave behind. Are you building something that will last? Are you making a positive impact on the world? Success is great, but the real question is, what will you do with it? At the end of the day, what really matters is happiness. You can have all the success in the world, but if you're not happy, what's the point? I've learned that true success isn't about money or fame, it's about living a life that makes you happy. Happiness comes from balance. It's about finding joy in your work, but also in your personal life. Too many people chase success at the expense of their happiness. They work endlessly, hoping that one day they'll be happy. But happiness isn't something you find at the end of the road. It's something you create along the way. If you're not happy now, what are you doing to change that? If you're not healthy, you will not be happy. Health, happiness, and success are all connected. You can't have one without the other. That's why it's so important to take care of yourself, to find balance, and to make time for the things that truly matter. In the end, happiness is the ultimate goal. Everything else, money, success, fame, it's all secondary. What really matters is how you feel, how you live, and the joy you bring to others. So ask yourself, are you happy? And if not, what are you going to do about it?
In this remarkable presentation, Jack Ma once again proved why he's one of the most inspiring leaders of our time. He took us through an extraordinary journey of self-discovery, resilience, and innovation. From emphasizing that innovation is the core of success, to sharing his own powerful story of rejection and persistence, Jack captivated everyone with his wisdom. He reminded us that opportunities are always hidden in challenges, and that our uniqueness is our greatest strength in a world of conformity. But what stood out most was his belief that health and happiness are the ultimate measures of success. Jack Ma's visionary outlook on the future of technology, his insistence on solving real problems, and the importance of building a legacy that outlasts financial success, left the audience not just motivated, but deeply reflective. The session was a masterclass in persistence, leadership, and teamwork, and his insight into education shaping the future couldn't be more timely. For anyone seeking actionable advice on how to lead a fulfilling and successful life, this video is a must-watch. Jack Ma's storytelling and deep connection with his audience made every moment impactful, leaving us all with one question: how are you going to embrace your challenges and turn them into opportunities? Fear of the future is one of the biggest obstacles holding people back from pursuing their goals. Jack Ma, in many of his speeches, emphasizes that while the future is uncertain, it's fear itself that truly paralyzes us. He suggests that it is better to fail than not to try. When we avoid decisions out of fear, we waste opportunities that could have transformed our lives. Have you ever felt that fear of failure? It's precisely that feeling that keeps growth and innovation at bay. For Jack Ma, fear can be seen as a test. It challenges us to reflect on whether we are genuinely committed to our dreams and goals. After all, great entrepreneurs face challenges every day, but overcoming fear is what propels them to the next level. What he teaches us is that true failure does not lie in the attempt, but in giving up due to fear. Imagine how much we could achieve if we simply faced our fears head-on. The fear of the future is also linked to our inability to predict it accurately. But as Jack Ma wisely points out, the future cannot be fully controlled. Instead of worrying about the unknown, he advises focusing on the present and making the most of what we have now. This mindset opens doors to innovation and adaptability, critical skills for anyone seeking success in both business and personal life. Have you considered that action, not prediction, might be the key to overcoming fear?
Jack Ma has always highlighted that uncertainty is not something to be feared but embraced. Is what allows new opportunities to emerge. He argues that those who accept this and move forward despite the unknown are the ones who thrive. Think about it. If everything were predictable, there would be no... Are you willing to step into the unknown? In many of his talks, Ma encourages entrepreneurs to focus on what they can control, their attitude and effort, rather than stress for what's beyond our control. We open ourselves up to growth. Fear of failure, after all, is often the fear of the unknown. But what if that uncertainty could be the very thing that leads you to your greatest success? Living in fear of what might happen keeps people stuck in a cycle of inaction. Jack teaches us that uncertainty is part of life, and by learning to navigate it with that would otherwise remain dormant, it's not about knowing every step, but being willing to take the first one.
One of Jack Ma's most famous beliefs is that failure is not the opposite of success, but a critical part of it. In his journey, he faced multiple rejections, including being turned down for jobs and university admissions. Yet these failures did not define him. Instead, they strengthened his resolve. His story proves that persistence is key. Would you let failure stop you, or use it to propel yourself forward? Ma often speaks about his early failures, particularly his inability to get hired at KFC and how those moments shaped his entrepreneurial spirit. These rejections forced him to think outside the box, to innovate, and to create something that no one could deny. He teaches that failure offers the best lessons, if you are willing to learn from them. How often have you learned more from your mistakes than your successes? Failure, according to Jack Ma, is inevitable in the path to greatness. What distinguishes successful people from others is how they handle these setbacks. Instead of retreating, they push forward with greater determination. Failure, in Ma's view, is simply feedback. It's not the end of the journey, but a step closer to success. What failures can you turn into your greatest lessons? Jack Ma is a firm believer that adaptability is one of the most important skills for the future. In a world where technology and business models are constantly evolving, those who are flexible and willing to change will thrive. He frequently points out that success belongs to those who can pivot when needed. Are you able to adapt to the challenges life throws at you? Ma's company, Alibaba, is a perfect example of adaptability. From its beginnings as an online marketplace, it has evolved into a global conglomerate offering a wide range of services. This transformation didn't happen by accident. It was the result of Jack Ma's ability to anticipate and respond to market changes. Flexibility, both in business and in personal life, is what separates those who succeed from those who are left behind. In his speeches, Ma urges young people to develop a mindset that embraces change. Fear of change, he says, is a waste of time, because the world will continue to evolve whether we like it or not. Adaptability is a form of resilience. Those who can adjust to the shifting sands of time are the ones who will find success. How are you preparing yourself for the changes of tomorrow? Jack Ma emphasizes that success is more about mindset than about circumstances. Too often, people use their current situation as an excuse not to take risks or pursue their dreams. But according to Ma, it's not where you start that matters. It's your attitude toward where you want to go. Your mindset is your most valuable asset. Have you considered that your mindset could be the key to unlocking your potential? Ma's personal story is a testament to this philosophy. Despite coming from humble beginnings, he always maintained an optimistic outlook. He didn't let his lack of resources or education stop him from dreaming big. He reminds us that our mindset shapes our reality. Those who believe they can achieve their goals despite their circumstances are the ones who do. Could a shift in your mindset be the first step toward your success? Instead of focusing on the limitations of your current situation, Jack Ma encourages people to cultivate a mindset of abundance and possibility. When you stop looking at what you don't have and start focusing on what you can do, you open the door to endless opportunities. Your circumstances may set the stage, but your mindset writes the script. One of Jack Ma's core messages is the importance of having a long-term vision. Success, he argues, is not achieved overnight, and those who seek quick wins often miss the bigger picture. A long-term mindset allows you to weather the storms and stay focused on your ultimate goal. Have you set your sights on the future, or are you getting lost in short-term distractions? Ma stresses that building something meaningful takes time, and those who are patient and consistent in their efforts are the ones who eventually succeed. He believes that many people give up too soon because they are discouraged by initial failures. However, those who persevere are the ones who reap the rewards in the end. How often have you been tempted to quit, only to find success just around the corner? For Ma, patience is a form of wisdom. It's about understanding that progress comes slowly and that success is the result of continuous focused effort. He teaches that those who have a long-term vision and the patience to see it through are the ones who create lasting impact. Jack Ma consistently highlights the importance of surrounding yourself with a strong, supportive team. No one achieves success alone, and Ma attributes much of his own success to the people he has worked with over the years. Having the right team not only helps you stay motivated, but also brings in new perspectives and ideas. Are you surrounding yourself with people who lift you higher? Ma believes that building a great team is about more than just finding people with the right skills. It's about finding those who share your vision and are willing to work together toward a common goal. He suggests that leaders who inspire their teams to be innovative and collaborative will find greater success than those who try to do everything on their own. In his view, success is a team effort, and the people you choose to surround yourself with will either propel you forward or hold you back. Jack Ma's advice? Choose wisely and invest in relationships that will help you grow. Jack Ma often speaks about the importance of thinking beyond personal success and focusing on the legacy you leave behind. For him, success is not just about wealth or fame, but about the positive impact you have on others. He believes that the most successful people are those who use their influence to make the world a better place. Have you considered what kind of legacy you want to leave? Ma reminds us that our greatest achievements are not material. They are the lives we touch and the changes we inspire. He encourages entrepreneurs to think about how their work can solve real problems and improve society. It's not enough to succeed for yourself. True success is measured by the positive difference you make in the world. In the end, Jack Ma believes that what truly matters is the legacy you leave for future generations. He challenges us to ask ourselves not just what we want to achieve, but how we want to be remembered. What kind of mark will you leave on the world? Now that you've learned some of the most valuable lessons from Jack Ma, it's time to ask yourself, how are you going to apply this wisdom in your own life? What challenges are you facing right now that you can transform into opportunities? Remember, it's not about how many times you fail, but how many times you stand up and push forward. Jack's journey shows us that true success comes from persistence, embracing your uniqueness, and never backing down from obstacles. Which of these insights resonated with you the most? Was it the emphasis on innovation, or perhaps the importance of health and happiness? Share your thoughts in the comments below and revisit this video whenever you need a spark of motivation. And don't forget to subscribe to the channel and activate the notifications so you won't miss more inspiring content like this. If you're ready to keep learning and growing, check out our next video, 7 Everyday Habits, Keeping You Broke, Jack Ma's Advice, where we dive even deeper into achieving success and overcoming obstacles.